audio, yes, looks okay, good. Up and running. Let's pick up exactly where we left off yesterday morning. Exactly where we left off. Good morning, gang. It's chilly today. None of the shirt sleeve stuff. It's cold out there. It's spring, you know, it's back and forth day by day. Warm days, chilly days. Yeah, no problems. Nobody's shouting at me, nothing. Audio's okay. Good morning, good morning. Paper is out. Yes, yes. Oh, Street View, I forgot. Soka, sorry. Moshakarimasen. So it's become a thing we have to do every day now, does it? If I forget to turn that camera on. Fair enough. We can never go back. Oops. So a chilly Friday morning here in Asakusa. The last couple of days in the shop have been extremely busy. Full parties, lots of crowds in the shop till late. I had trouble getting out of here last night. The rest of the staff leaves at 5:30 to 6. I just stayed and kept the door open. 7:30 later. Every time I started thinking I wanted to get out of here, before the person that was here would leave, somebody else would come in. And I think it was about 8:30 or so I got out of here at last. Finally got empty. Seems busy out there today. Seems quite busy, lots of people going back and forth. Sakura season is, I heard last night, I know a woman dropped by, the lady who works at a brush shop, Miyagawa. Their brush store is a couple of blocks away. And she stopped in last night as I was here, just to say hello. And she was on her way to see the night cherries. Over on the Sumida River here, there's thousands of cherry trees all in a row. And she said it's all full bloom, she said. So it looks like Tokyo's cherries are up and running. We are right between two of the major viewing areas here, the Sumida River group and then Ueno Park, which is whatever, I can't say number one, but it's a top place for viewing cherries here. But it's so crowded. But I don't know if I get a chance to get out and see them, I don't think so. This particular time slot, the 8 o'clock to 9:30 or so time slot, used to be my free time every day. I'd go out for walks. When the cherries are up, this is the time I could get out to the river there and see the cherry blossoms and things like that. But these days, this time slot is taken up by something else. So. These dots, are these yellow or not? I'm going to go check this. These dots, one's blue and one's white. Two blue and two white. Okay. So that's blue and that's blue and that's white. Seems okay. Questions. Live stream from Wino Park. Is there something good? Yeah, busy in pink. I guess so. So we're up here. So. The blue pigments create a yellow with label yellow. Blue, there's different kinds of blue we use. Some are very old and traditional and some are not. For blue, we've got really basically three we use, whatever. One is indigo. It's the, no, press the wrong button there. I is indigo, that's the oldest blue pigment we use. Then the other most common one we use is the one known in the West as Prussian blue, the one that comes in Hokusai Hiroshige prints. That would be called a kinbero in Japanese. And then sometimes the girls upstairs use ultramarine, but not very much. Gunjo in English. They don't like it. We don't like it at all. It's a bit of a hard color. It smells funny. It's really difficult to grind down to a superfine powder. So for the most part, for blue for us is those two. It's the indigo and the Prussian blue for the most part. So when we're making a green or something, we have a lot of combinations, those two, and of course we mix black in, sumi, with most of them. It's busy out there, way more footsteps than normal, right? It's not that busy usually. What's today? Today's Friday. Is it related to the cherry blossoms? It's end of season. This is the last week of March. This is the big changeover time in Japan. I know the kids are off school right now because they start a new school year in the first week of April. And it's the school year. It's when the school changes. If you're a grade 4 kid, then in March, then you're grade 5 in April. So this is the equivalent. When I was a kid, it was summer holidays. We took off for the summer and came back as a new grade level. Here in Japan, that happens March to April. Then many people they start their jobs, they retire in March, people start jobs in April. It's the super changeover season for everything. The moving companies, people moving houses, they've been going nuts for the past week and they will be for the next couple of weeks. Because of the job changing happening in March and April, the moving companies have their big hit. And they'll do like 80% of the year's moving all in one couple of week period. I'm ignoring the stream here. Sorry guys, excuse me. Where are we here? What is the leaning print over there? This one? Height. 8 to 8. I just took it out. In the email over during the night, I saw there was an order from our flea market for one of the older prints. And as soon as the flea market order happens, we've got to make sure the print comes out of stock so nobody else takes it. So I quickly picked it up. Cameron will be preparing an invoice and stuff for shipping it this morning. No, it's not for show and tell. Whatever, I can show it, but it's nothing to do with today's show and tell. It's just one of the older prints from our catalog. It was on the online catalog and it sold overnight. So just take it out of stock quickly. You know. Have I used Sheena wood for my prints? Never. No. We don't use Sheena plywood at all here. We use hardwoods here. Cherry and sometimes boxwood. Print production for us is an ongoing long process. We make prints, we expect to be publishing them for a long time, for the most part. So we don't use softwoods, we use hardwoods that will last for a long time of printing. We do have a show and tell today, and it's a bit of a different one. It's not just an item that I happened to find on an auction or something the other day. This is an item that I specifically went hunting for. Some of you might remember, if you were around a while ago, just some random day, a few weeks ago, we did have a quick show and tell. We got a large package delivered one day, and Cameron and I unrolled it and put it on the floor. And we did a quick, just sort of quickly show you what it was that was coming in. And it was a kind of a board game, a woodblock printed board game from the Meiji era. And we just quickly put it on the floor and gave you a rough idea of what it was. That game is going to be the topic of an upcoming David's Choice video, which I've started to plan and do some research on. And as part of preparing for that David's Choice video, I needed some more material. It wasn't just that one print that we had received. I needed some more prints to be able to show and talk about the genre that was involved, the idea of woodblock prints as board games. So I went searching for some other samples, and I got one. That's what's, there's an envelope here, just arrived yesterday afternoon, and that's what's inside. So we'll look at that one this morning. It's not a random show and tell, it's a very specifically planned print. So the upcoming David's Choice, it'll be number 8, is it? I forget, what's the number? I don't know. The next David's Choice video will be about woodblock printed board games. And today's show and tell will be an example of that genre. But as usual, I don't know if I should do this. I open these things on camera, not having had a chance to study them, so I always look stupid. I don't know what I'm actually looking at. Oh, my mother's there. Good morning, good morning. How you doing? I didn't notice you were in stream. Sorry. I didn't know you were here. Good morning. Haven't heard from you for quite a while. Time to do some walking. You and me both. This winter, I think, has been sometimes quite frustrating for my mother there. When I was over there in February, it was really difficult weather. It was snowing much more than it usually does. Lots of sleet, lots of slippery stuff. And it's not so good for my mother, you know. She can't safely walk around. None of us can safely walk around, but especially at at her time of life, you just can't go outside when it's so slippery. You know? So she's been stuck in her apartment there for quite a lot of the time this winter. So I'm sure she's ready to get out and start charging down the seawall. Is that our door closing? I don't think Susan's coming in today. Normally somewhere around this time we might hear her going up the stairs behind me, but I don't think I didn't take her paper out because her name wasn't on the job list board today. Today should be Adechan and Ishikawa-san. Ishikawa-san's working on the 5th print in this year's series. The 4th is all done and signed and sealed and ready and packed and shipped on the 1st of the month. And the 5th print is now under production. The two of them have a batch going on. We've managed to keep up with it, you know. This year's series jumped out to such a strong start. The garbage truck, yeah, there we are. Come on, run. Those guys are on their last run, actually, those garbage guys. It's interesting the way things work here in Japan. The men you just saw run by with the garbage truck, they're municipal employees. In the case of, I'm in Tokyo, but these guys are part of Taito City, Taito Ward, different words are used for this. Tokyo is a metropolitan area, a greater metropolitan area. It's made up of different cities and towns and things all mixed together. And things like garbage collection are handled by the local towns. And when I first moved to Japan, back in the 1980s, we had in our house sort of an English conversation class. Before I was making a living making prints, I had to feed my kids and pay our rent without having any print sales, so we taught English at home for a while. And we weren't a school, but what I was doing, we taught English on a conversational basis, just people who wanted to learn how to speak better, who already sort of had done the school training, but who wanted to practice their speaking. And among the people who came to me for lessons once, right at the beginning, was the guy who was the, what do you call it, the kancho-san, I forget the word, I know, there's a library, for example, run by the city, and they're the head person in the library. What do you call it, the library director, the manager? In Japan, it's easy. It's the kancho. Toshokan no kancho. I forget the English word. Anyway, whatever. The guy who runs the local library. But he was a city employee. And he wanted to practice English with me for a while because he was going overseas to some convention and wanted to, brushing up his English. So no problem. So he came to me for some months before this convention. And as part of it, what he really just wanted to do was get fluent again and speak English. He had English knowledge, but didn't have experience just talking and chatting with people. So for him, it was a really easy kind of lessons. We did a private man-to-man, and I didn't have to prepare anything. What he just wanted to do was practice doing conversation with somebody, so that when he went to this convention in America or wherever it was, he could talk. So no problem. It was easy for me. Just sit and talk with the guy. And he told me a lot of things about life in City Hall. And one thing that was really interesting, I asked him, like, did you have a degree in library science or something like this? He says, oh. I'm like, well, what's your training to be the director of the library? He says, no, there's no training. It's a city department, and it's a 3-year rotation. He had spent the previous 3 years in the tax department or finance department or something, and he rotated out, and now he was the director of the library. In a couple more years, he'd rotate out, and he'd be part of something else. And it's not a question of going up and up and up. They rotate up and down, up and down, up and down. So depending on what experience you get and what they think you need for experience. And we know this when companies hire young kids, for example. They don't hire a kid to be a sales department thing and he'll work in the sales department all his career with the company. They switch him out and mix him up and scramble him up and set him all over the place. Anyway, long story short, this guy who was the director of the library at the time, either it was his next assignment or his previous assignment, I forget, we're talking about it, he was going to be working in the sanitation department next. And he was going to be a sub-manager of the incinerator or something like this. And when we were chatting about this, I was really kind of surprised that, sure, you get good, you get knowledge. If you're a library director, you know how to buy books and all this kind of stuff. He said it wasn't important. They didn't consider that to be important. What they wanted was general skills to be able to run a department and do this and do that. And the specific knowledge of it was held by the people farther down in the ranks. So the management level of this was constantly switching out and switching out and switching out. So whatever, now that I'd learned that, I started asking other people who I knew. A couple of other of my students were also people working in, as civil servants and stuff like this. And it's really a thing. People really do transfer to jobs that you would never think they could possibly know anything about. And yet it's not considered important to have specific knowledge of the job. And at one point in talking about this, somebody who worked for one of the sanitation departments said, the same guys, the guys running after the truck who are picking up your garbage, that's not their full-time job. It's their full-time job, but that's not their career. They're there for a couple of years, and when it comes time after 2 years or 3 years or whatever, they rotate out and go to a different job in the city hall. Now, the garbage picker is not going to be the leader of the library. He's going to be doing different engineering jobs or working with the water supply company or stuff like this. So now, this is the last couple of days of March. It's March 29th here. I don't keep track of who these people are, but I'll bet you the particular guy who ran down this street today, that's probably the last time we'll see him, because starting from April 1st, he's probably going to be, or possibly going to be, in a different department doing something else. Same thing, I had this experience just about two or 3 weeks ago. There's a place I go for my regular health checks. You know, we have this system in Japan where at a certain age you have a certain test, and a certain age and a certain test, and when you're a certain age you do these tests, blah, blah, blah. So it's a specific doctor that I knew, the place I go to get my regular health checks. She said, when I saw her this last time, she said, well, won't be seeing you again. And I'm like, what do you mean you won't be seeing me again? I don't have to come back anymore? I thought I was getting older. I had to come back more often. She said, no, I'm gone. She said she's moving to a different hospital because it was her rotation time. So I'll never see her again. It'll be a different doctor assigned to me whenever I'm back there next year or something else for whatever test comes up. So I suppose somebody's asking now in the stream, will Cameron still be here in April? As far as I know. We don't have any staff changes planned this week. Wait, have I got everything on this blue block? Have you guys been watching? Oh no, there's one. There's a little one there. that guy who came for those English lessons all those years ago, the library director, you know, he really said something that really shocked me and stunned me. This is 1986. We had just moved to Japan. We had rented an apartment in a brand new building. We were the first tenants in the building. We were among the first group of tenants who were just moving into the new building. This is the fall of 1986. It's a brand new, what they call a mansion in Japan. Brand new mansion. And it had a couple of Japanese rooms with tatami mats, and it had a Western room with wooden floors and a little mixed kitchen, tiny bathroom and stuff. It was a very, very nice little place. So we rent this place. One room, one of the tatami mat rooms becomes my classroom. And we don't have chairs and tables. We made ourselves a bunch of zabutons, little cushions, and when people came into the room for their English class, the kids or whoever it was, everybody sat down on the zabutons. So this guy, this was a man-to-man class I told you I had with this guy, the library director. And I must have, the first day he came or something, I don't remember the exact details, I must have put the zabutons in the middle of the room or something. I sit on one cushion and he sits on another cushion. And he wouldn't sit down where I had put the cushion. We come in and introduce each other and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, let's sit down, let's chat. And he says, no, and he moves his cushion over right beside the window. And he says, it's better if we sit here. Like, it was broken English. He wasn't really good at English, but whatever. Let's sit window better to sit, or something like this. I don't remember what he said, whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You want to sit by the window? I sit by the window, no problem at all. But we were chatting or attempting to chat at whatever level of English he had. And I'm curious, you know, why do you like to sit by the window? You want fresh air? Do you want to open the window? He said, no. It's because of the earthquake danger. So whatever. Again, this is 40 years ago, so I can't remember the shape of what he said. But the point was, he didn't want to sit in the middle of the room. He wanted to sit right near the window so that if there was a major earthquake, he had a chance of getting out quickly. And I had just moved to Japan. We'd only been here like a couple of months, and I'm a little bit shocked by this. I knew that Japan had earthquakes, whatever. That's part of the risk of living here. But we're in a brand new building, which are, usually pretty good for this sort of thing. That's the rule here. If you're in Tokyo now and an earthquake starts, if you're in something like a big hotel or whatever, just sit tight because you're in one of the safest places in town. If you're in some old ramshackle building, whatever, you take your chances. So whatever, we're in this brand new apartment that I've just rented for me and my kids. And he goes on to tell a conversation that he said, when I was working in City Hall a while back, I worked in the planning department. And I've seen how this works. And he said, I don't trust these places. That they're not made to code or something. And I just rented this place. I'm living here with my two little kids. And here's a guy who has experience at City Hall in the planning department. And he wants to sit near the window because he's afraid of this place falling down. And I just rented this place. And I'm like, oh yeah? So I don't know. Building codes and whatever, and it didn't inspire a ton of confidence in me. Well, that was 40 years ago. The building's still there. There haven't been any massive earthquakes here. Morning, sir. I say when the next big earthquake really does hit Japan, Tokyo, whatever we survive or not, but when I do get up after the rubble and we're looking around, I'm going to make a trip out to Hummer, at that place I used to live. I'm going to see that building. Did it survive or did it pancake as he was afraid of? I don't know. This is Cameron's coming in. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
I haven't been a very good boy here following the stream. I was really quiet for the first half of the stream. I'm doing some work. It's not neglection, it's doing work. I've been carving, and the stream looked really quiet, so I basically ignored it, but it looks like it's woken up now. Oh, I've missed lots of conversation. I think they're talking to themselves for the most part. Yeah, they're talking to themselves, so I'll read it later. But here's a question.
Okay, wait down.
Oh, it's great. We were chatting about the deal about in Japan, lots of work and schedules change now March to April.
Oh, right.
So
right.
train patterns, train schedules, people working, job assignments, stuff like that. We're talking about the pattern. The Shulady, maybe April 1st we'll never see her again. Who knows? Because
Wait, see who?
The shoe lady,
Oh,
for example,
yeah.
it's, if things are going to change, that's the time they change. For a person with a normal job, you'll never see a change on January the 15th or anything. It doesn't work that way. But March the 31st to April 1st, that's it. It's hello, goodbye.
Yeah.
So somebody's asking, April 1st, am I shifting Cameron's position? What are you going to do? Oh, coffee and donut bearer for the workers. Here we are. This is some of this conversation. Just trying to show off.
Get
Here.
everyone
That's all. That's
seasick.
all. Show off.
It is a lot colder than I expected
It
to
is
be.
so. I got in there with my shirt and opened the door and then bang, nope, ran upstairs and got my Jed supplied.
Yes.
I didn't think I'd need it again, so. Yeah. For the newbies who don't know, this is Cameron, sidekick, right-hand man here, worker.
All right. Oh yeah, starting April 1st, make me a carver.
What's that?
Make me a carver, apparently.
Well, actually, it's
I've
funny.
looked
'cause
at knives before.
Well, it's
but-
funny because that goes. The reason he said that is the specific example I told was of in my English classes 40 years ago. The director of the local library came for English classes,
Yeah.
and he was chatting with me about how his job worked. And I forget the details. He had just worked with the sanitation department, then got switched
Okay.
to the library. Then he was going to get switched to mechanical engineering and whatever and building codes. Because that's where they work every couple, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
and it's
so
not
he
a
was
question.
a government employee just
City-
working generally for the city. So
office
not
employee, so-
under the librarian working for the library, different positions within the library. he was
so
going all around the city.
Yes, and it was every 2 or 3 years. And he was
bizarre.
currently. Well, so that's. I used to think it was bizarre. Now I think it's normal.
Yeah.
Hey, why would you hire a guy to be the director of the library and he doesn't know how to run a library?
Right.
Well, the point is obviously the people down in the ranks sort of know what they're doing. The guy up there just keep him
He's a
feed him tea,
figurehead.
feed him tea and whatever. And, I don't know. So
Interesting.
you can look at it really cynically and say the guys in the top seats they don't know anything. They're just figureheads.
Yeah.
Or that it's not a bad idea to rotate people around a city office so everybody knows everybody else. They know
Yeah.
what jobs are going on. They know what needs to be
Yeah.
done. I get it both ways. You
Yeah.
know. And you couldn't take all the library staff out on March the 31st and move them all to the sanitation department and switch them back, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's not how it's done.
Right.
It's 1 in 10 rotating out or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Have you ever worked in a big corporation where this happens or a bigger
No.
group? No. This is why we hear the places like Toyota or whatever, they hire young people to be generalists. They're not hiring people to be, specific things. Well, how does it work in medical school and stuff? I mean, you have a specific number of things that have to be learned. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ryan Ostris. I finally got my box, the display stand for the subscription prints. Took me 10 minutes to figure out how to open it. I feel pretty down.
This year's box, not the trick box that I made years ago, right? We did make a box that we had to actually send separate instructions in a separate sheet, me and Aoyama-san. Yeah. The box we made for the Arts of Japan series. We had to send instructions because nobody could figure it out. But this one, it's that tightly made. It's the
Yeah,
top just
I guess
top
so.
comes up.
Cool.
We'll wait for a couple of cycles of winter, dry, and summer humidity.
Yeah.
A little warp a little bit. You'll get a little crack appearing at the edge of there, I think.
It'll be easier to use now.
I thought you were going to tell me a story about Prince not arriving or something. You see, there's so many questions of packages
But we've
bouncing.
also gotten answers. Oh, it finally showed up.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah,
for
so
telling me to
it's-
wait. So they are on the way.
But it seems to be way more than it used to be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it really
the numbers
is.
that get bounced back to us and the numbers that sort of are actually getting lost.
Yeah, it's worrisome.
The world's postal system. And places like there's one from Sweden or something, which I thought was sort of a Loctite,
Yeah.
reliable place. And stuff is not showing up.
It's kind of weird.
Brazil, whatever, but Sweden, what?
Yeah. One person says, it probably helps workers not get bored in the same position. And someone else says, I'd hate it. I think it,
I mean, being shipped in.
yeah, it shifted
It
around.
depends on your personality. Do you want stability or do you want interest and excitement? I don't know. It's not just job description, so it's people. You're not stuck with the same person all the time. You're mixing up. And after a few years of this, you know everybody in the city office and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It helps that mood of we're all in this together and we're all a team and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice when you see the nails at flea markets. I noticed I pulled it
Oh,
out.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
In fact, it's funny. I went to the stack to try and find it, and it was front one on its screw,
Huh.
which makes me think probably the order last night. Somebody who was in here yesterday looking at stuff left
Yeah.
it there, then went back
Went
and ordered
home
it
and ordered it,
online.
yeah.
So maybe. So I'm not sure because it was right. It was the first one in the stack. So it's cleanly been looked at just yesterday afternoon. Cool.
They requested express shipping, it looked like. So.
I didn't notice that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Will window light fade the prints? Yes. So,
Well, yes and no. We talked about this too at the sales counter because the other day somebody was buying a print on one of the Heroes prints, and he said, like, are we allowed to look at this, or do we have to keep it in a dark room and stuff like this? No, so they've heard, because whatever he's heard around that Japanese prints we have to keep the room. He's been in museums, it's all soft light. We can only expose them for a few minutes because they're going to fade away and stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to make it clear to him, no, that there's sort of, roughly speaking, two general types of prints here.
Yeah.
The prints made back in the old days where they were using tree bark and cherry blossoms or whatever to use delicate pigments and stuff.
Yeah.
And those pigments are very fugitive and will fade very quickly. So this is why in a museum you'll see the old prints hidden away in soft light and stuff like that. And oh my God, don't look at it, it's going to fade, don't look at it. Whatever. Ever since Meiji and whatever, moving into the 20th century, we're using mineral pigments. Brown mineral pigments, and these are much more light. I can't say light safe, but whatever, much more light safe than the old stuff. Much stronger. So the prints we're making now, whatever, you can't put it in bright sunshine and let it sit there because it will, over a period of weeks, months, years, it will definitely fade.
Yeah.
But a normal home environment, put it in a frame, put it in the wall, as long as there's no direct sunshine hitting the paper.
every single day. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good to go. It will tone a little bit and get a little bit of a mood, but it will not fade into incoherence.
Yeah.
So, cool. So just common sense, normal common sense rules. No direct sunshine.
Yeah. Someone offered the correct term we're looking for, light fast, I guess. That's the
Or did I? Yeah.
interesting. I didn't,
Well, there's no such thing as light fast in terms of permanence. It's a question of how much you can bear and how much you can stand, and how much energy is being poured onto the surface of this thing in terms of sunlight.
Right.
So. But the prints we are making are in no way tiny, weak, delicate flowers that have to be protected at all costs.
Got it.
They're pieces of paper with pigment rubbed into them, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
cool.
If you live in the Arizona desert, you're going to put this outside your south wall. I mean, you're going to end up with a white piece of paper in a very short order. But in normal environments, don't sweat it.
Quoting you, it will get a tone and get a mood. Sounds like me getting old.
Well, yeah, exactly the same thing. I mean, don't overthink these. These are pieces of paper. They are going to have a lifespan. But it's a couple of 100 years lifespan. And over that couple of 100 years, they are going to definitely show their age. Yeah. Absolutely. We've got prints here in the shop. They're 200 years old, and we can tell that they've been treated well. They've been stuck in a drawer and never opened because they've still got color.
Yeah.
200 years, that's it. Don't worry about it. Open it, use it, look at it, enjoy it. It's a piece of paper. You're getting one of the most long-lived products on the planet, any way you look at it. So don't overthink it. Use it and enjoy it. Which reminds me, we have a quick show. Oh, I say a quick show and tell. I'm not quite sure. We have a show and tell here.
Oh, okay.
You remember when you and I opened this big one, the game thing?
Yeah.
So, as soon as we saw that, I realized that's great material for a good David's Choice video.
Oh, okay.
So as part of getting ready for that video, I've been gathering together some other material, and I went hunting for another kind of woodblock printed board game, because I can't just show that one, because that's a bit of a special, not totally normal type,
Yeah.
It was for a rich family and very expensive, and it wouldn't be fair just to show that one as typical of the genre, because it's not true. So I went hunting and watching in auctions and stuff. I even asked Widdison to try and find some for me. He didn't have anything, but one popped up last week, and I grabbed it. So, and it's arrived. It's here in the package. So,
Nice.
and it'll help to show the genre in a little bit more of a typical way, rather than that extremely expensive, high class one that we showed. So, so if you remind me in a minute or so, we'll open that up and have a look at it. So. Actually, I haven't seen a close-up picture of it. I hope it's not porn on it. I don't know. It's possible, because there was lots of those too. Lots of those too. And wood blocks. No, this is nothing for the streamer, it's just news for you. You know those wood blocks that I found when I went to Ome the other day? That auction box that had been... I guess I should explain a bit more to the stream people too. I know I've been watching and looking for wood blocks, old wood blocks. You know the story. We've been trying to find wood blocks. And an auction came up, a pair of auctions came up about 10 days ago.
Okay.
It was mostly little, small, tiny wood blocks with patterns carved on them.
Yeah.
It's of minor interest, but no big deal. And the auction was cheap enough that I thought, yeah, let's buy these, throw them in the closet, little pieces of wood. Maybe for beginner printers, it's good something. And there was a bunch of stuff in the box that they hadn't taken photographs of, good photographs of.
Right.
A bunch of which were Oban size, big blocks. Did you see them when they were here the other day? Or
Yeah, I remember seeing them.
And I opened them up,
Nice.
and they were so heavy.
Yeah.
Long story short, Aoyama-san took them yesterday to Shinikiba. They're upstairs now. They are fabulous. We now have enough wood for key blocks for the rest of this year's series.
Oh, great.
And if we extend it again through next year for the key blocks for all of them,
Wow.
and for easily the next 6 Ukiyo Heroes / Cats prints.
Wow.
Beautifully nice, hard-faced wood. So before we got those blocks from Kyoto, they were a little bit too soft. They're okay for color blocks, but it didn't help us for color blocks, for key blocks. We now have key blocks for the next couple of years.
All right.
And we have one in particular. I probably shouldn't. I can still get to talk about this. There was one. He said, "Shall I cut him?" One of them was really heavy. It was like ironwood. And I said, "Just a minute. Let me get the tape measure." We tape measured it. I brought out a sample print to see how it matched as far as the dimensions go.
Yeah.
And it's good enough dimensions to fit this particular design.
All right.
So I'm thinking ahead here, and we now have the block. I think we now have the block for when we have to recut.
When you need a new second division.
Chon-san's been warned. He's got to get ready, get trained up, get ready for it.
Wow.
We've got the tracing because I've already done that
Yeah.
3 years ago. And I think now we have the piece of wood.
Yeah. Wow.
Because that's not going to last forever.
Nope.
It's not going to last forever. So far, so
Not the
good.
way it's been going.
So I'm really happy about that because
Yeah.
that's been a question mark. That's what are we
Where do I
going
get
to
a
do?
big
What are we
piece
going to
of
do? Where can I
hardwood?
get
Yeah.
another block for the Great Wave? And it looks like now we're not 100% sure, but he's got the wood.
It's looking possible.
Sliced off. It's looking probable. I think that we've got it. So
Excellent.
that's the way to run a business. Look down the road to years in the future and get stuff lined
Yes.
up. So. And then figure out how can we make sure we know where it is. I can
I
see
was
that.
just gonna
I can
say
just see
that.
3 years now. Okay.
I know we
where's
got that
wood?
big
I know we
piece of
got it.
wood.
Where is it? I know we can't find it.
I had a really fun campfire. No, just thought you said I could take all the scraps from the shop.
You're fired.
Yeah. Oh no.
We laughed, but it's actually the same story. When I was in Ome on Tuesday, I had a list of things to do, and one of the list of things was get ready for the next, not this next video about David's Choice, but I'm planning this and this and this. And one of the recent videos was Beginnings Part 1, Beginnings Part 2, about how I got started printmaking.
Right.
And number 3, whenever it's going to be, it won't be tomorrow, but number 3 will have to be a video about the poet series, the 10
Oh, of
years of
course,
making the
yeah.
poets. That's the next thing. So one of the things on my list in Ome, go to that drawer where I've got all the original flyers and pamphlets and postcards from the first 10 years of exhibitions and stuff. So I went to that drawer when I was there on Tuesday,
Yeah.
opened it up,
All gone.
they weren't in there. What was in there was stuff from 2000 and on, the Surimono album
Yeah.
years and stuff like that. So what I must have done when I moved to Ome is because the poet series was finished. I took all that ephemera, the archive that I
Yeah.
got, all the pamphlets I sent to, I must have put them in a box. And
I'll
now-
use this
And now I
later.
have no idea where it is. I have no idea. And there are so many boxes of crap down in the basement. And I asked Yasui Sanya, and she's like, "Why are you asking me? Something happened 15 years ago."
Yeah.
So I don't know where they are. So I had to, that little video, Beginnings Part 3, is going to get like punted down the road to the next level of whatever it is.
So make that part of the video, the hunt for the box.
Yeah, like that'll be real interesting, not, So. Oh, what time? Should we do that little show and tell?
Sure. Yeah, 907.
Now that I've explained it, probably too, there's a different package or something. I don't know.
That would be
I think that's what.
Pretty funny.
Actually, I'm a bit pissed off if he's folded it too tightly, but I guess it's probably been folded in storage.
yeah. Shall we all pop by Ome and help you look around? Cordy got me.
They have no idea what that basement looks like. The one we opened, were you here when I opened that one yesterday? It's opening and opening and opening and opening.
Oh yes, it just kept going and
going,
going and
yeah.
going.
And we threw it all away, just stuffed it in a
Yeah.
plastic bag.
Hubert Han asks for these, or the kanji for hangito. It's hangi, I know, and then the toe is just the katana kanji. Is
It
that
looks
right?
like katana. I know there's a couple that are used. It's katana with a bar through the middle of
Oh, okay.
one with a.
Got it.
I don't know how to describe
Not
it in
exactly that
Japanese
one.
terms. Got it there?
Might be that one. Didn't come up. I think it's that, or that's the
Yeah,
first
that's
guess.
the one.
Okay, that's the right one.
Yeah, but there's another katana with a bar through the a horizontal bar through the. I can't see it this angle. Well, if you type when you
When I
type
typed hangito,
is that what you know?
it gave me hangi nado and then a whole bunch of other guesses that weren't close.
You told T-O-O. Try to-u. There's T-O-O and T-O-U.
Okay,
You know,
yeah, I did
different ways.
TOU, but Stream of David's basement show and tell could last weeks.
Years.
Years.
I see what makes it worse is the girls, the ladies in Oma, they totally renovated upstairs. And they just, oh my God, just whatever stuff that I knew where it was because I knew where it was is now just I don't know
Somewhere new.
where it is. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. What is happening here? Japan. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Is it the same guy who packed that stuff yesterday?
It might be. It's packed the same way with the
No, this
extra
is
tape.
Now the problem is they pack these old prints in plastic bags and tape them up, and you can't get the tape off without tearing the crap that's inside it. You know, look
Yeah.
at this. I can't tear the tape off because the paper inside is so delicate. And to cut it with a knife means I'm taking a knife
Really
right
close to
an
the
old Meiji era print. This is an Edo era print.
Yeah.
I wish they wouldn't do that. Sellotape, it's the worst thing to bring anywhere near woodblock prints, you know?
Yeah.
Look at this. I'm really in danger of damaging the print.
Yeah.
Unboxing. This is also going to be fairly sizable cameras, huh? So
Oh, another really big.
it's not really big, but it's sizable. So
Okay.
it's, I'm not sure.
Does this one need to go on the ground again?
No. It'll probably go on the desk, but maybe you might have to get it. Let's try it. Let's have a look at it. Okay, as I mentioned before, gang, in the stream a few minutes ago, what we have here is a game. This is not a video game. It's a
the
board
same
game.
game.
And this is soft. Ooh, this is soft. Dave, be careful. This would tear in a second. Let's try and find the. And this is based on Musha. We have samurai, and we have what's going to be the theme of this? I don't know. Let's see if we can figure this out. Ooh. Here we go. There's a theme I don't understand. Any Hiyoshimaru? Any hints, Karen-san?
No.
No idea. It will be some kind of story, adventure story, or samurai story, or historical episode. And it's been turned into I keep saying it's been turned into a video game. It's not a video game, it's a board game. Will it open up, or should we just leave it half and half? We're looking at half of it. It's going to. Let's zoom out a bit more.
There you go.
This is half of it. Let's see if it'll open. I don't want to damage this. This is really soft. Whoa, there we go. Let's get this. Oh, I see. It's made on 2 pieces of paper and pasted together. Oh, it's made on 4 pieces. No, it's made on 2 pieces of paper. Look at that.
2 big ones then.
No, so where's the joints? There's a joint there. There's a joint. Okay, it's printed on 6 pieces of paper. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 different woodblock prints pasted together to make a single. Am I right? 6.
Seam, yeah, or a single.
Yeah, there's the seam. There's seam at the halfway point, and there's the seam 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So, and it's a board game. And the start must be. Where's the start? Can we see it down the bottom right-hand corner? It looks like the start. Geez, I get it. There's a black border. You see it?
Yeah.
See the black border? So there's an actual path. This is not a jump around game like we saw. The one we saw.
Oh yeah, this one
So
spirals.
this has an actually. It's like the games that you and I grew up with. You're going.
Yeah.
You roll the dice and move forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move forward, roll for 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's more like the games you and I grew up with, rather than jump around to different ones. And it's a spiral. You can see the black path here. That determines the play path, and you end up at the goal in the middle. And again, we're just opening this. I'm sorry not to be able to give you chapter and verse on what this is. What's the theme? There's presumably a long story. It's not the 47 Ronin. Absolutely not. Is it? No. Can I turn it around so that I can see it? I can't see this upside down.
I'll turn the camera upside down.
What is the story? No, I have no idea. It's not the 47. It's it'll be another famous episode, either a historical episode or an imaginary episode. It's just like a story. There's people chatting. There's action. Somebody's dying. There's a raid. There's a castle being built. There's something happening in the rain. There's a historic episode. Another battle. A fleet attacking a castle. My God, whatever it is, this is something interesting.
The colors are still incredibly strong, people are saying, for how old it is.
Well, when you think about what's happened is this wouldn't have been displayed or hung in a wall or anything.
Right.
We were thrown out on the floor, they played with it for a while, folded up, put it away.
Yeah.
Once a year, once every 10 years, once ever, whatever.
Yeah.
It really is. They are super vivid. Have we got a date here, sir? Can we see anything? There's no date on the margins. There's no date over on the introduction page. I don't know. Here we are in the middle here. Can we get a... There's my glasses. This is Agari. That's the goal.
The end
That's
to
the end.
finish,
Yeah, the end to finish.
Your new subscription series idea, a new board game every month.
Well, it's not a job. A new piece every month.
Yeah.
I mean, right, this thing here, this is in 6 pieces.
Yeah.
It could easily, we could think about something. I mean, the big one we show, it's 12 prints.
Right.
That at the end of the thing is a game. Mm-hmm. Cameron, let's do
not the
that.
worst
Let's
idea.
do that. That's not the worst idea I've ever heard. Who is that? Give that man a chocolate egg.
Okay.
And if
get
we
the
do
chocolate
this,
egg.
give him a free subscription. Period. If we do this. Because that's a good idea.
Rhinoceros.
That is a good idea. The show?
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that? I'm supposed to be the leader here. I'm supposed to be I'm the corner office man, you know?
Yep.
Oh, I'm getting old. I'm losing it.
It only becomes usable as a game at the end of the year.
Yeah, because like what we do, we wouldn't do it this way with a circular path.
Right.
We do it the way we showed that other first game, where each of the individual sheets has instructions on
Yeah.
how to run to another random, quote, not quite random
Yeah.
sheet. And of course, the last one we send would have to be the agari,
Right.
the end.
Kawaii-san.
So yeah. January, the step 1 would be the one that went in January.
Yeah.
Step 12 would be the one when it, and in between it would be random anyway. It wouldn't
Yeah.
make any difference. They could have a seasonal motif.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Talk to
Jed, are
Jed.
you listening? So.
You could 3D print Baden as the player tokens, someone said.
Keep these ideas coming, gang.
Yeah.
Keep the ideas coming. What would we do then? Would we like just put out files that people could do, or would we supply the tokens ourselves, or just here? Well, no. People, even in the old days, the person who published this wouldn't supply tokens.
Yeah, people
And
just use
people
coins
use their
or
own, whatever they've got
sticks
in
or
the
whatever.
policy. Yes, exactly.
Stones. Yeah.
I'm liking that idea. I'm supposed to be looking at this and talking about it.
Yeah.
Actually, nothing I say. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
The thing at the end is a scene. We have Otono-sama. We have the guy, the big man of the district. It's cherry blossom season. Something has happened. We have offerings being made here. Musicians playing, a dancer dancing. A happy ending, clearly a happy ending.
Yeah.
After all the violence and fighting and death and people getting
Yeah.
stabbed. And there's a bunch of episodes. We have a man on a horse. This looks like the old Yoshitsune. I wonder, the horse in the sea here. I wonder if there's another man on a horse running, another man on a horse running, men on horseback fighting.
Oh, good morning. Ohio gozaimasu.
Sashiburi, are you okay? Cough,
Yeah.
cough, cough, cough. You're recovered?
I wasn't sick. I was just trying to study for the test
Did I
yesterday.
get the
I guess
emails
there was some
mixed
miscommunication. I don't know.
No,
I got
I had
emailed
the
it.
placement test for
up?
university.
I know, I knew you had
yesterday.
that, but I also got the email.
Really?
I'm confused.
Maybe it was someone else. I don't
I
know.
wasn't.
Okay.
Well, I had some aching throat. But
Okay, no,
that's
no,
all.
I'm
You're back. All right.
Oh, it's Audrey. Her
Oh, yeah,
last name
Audrey
is
was-
mixed up. Similar to your big,
okay.
long katakana European, long
she's-
last
Yeah.
name. She was
Oh,
off sick.
Yeah.
okay.
Is how did the test go?
Not so good.
Not so good. Oh no.
So you need more work. Okay, suits
Yeah.
me. That's all right.
Yeah.
Quit school. That's all. We don't need that school stuff.
I'd
you
be
know,
happy
so-
to.
I'd be happy
The test
to.
was really awful.
Oh
Like
no.
the reading part was so difficult
Yeah.
to read because there are many Chinese
Ah,
students. so
this is a Japanese placement test you're doing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Your level of Japanese.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah,
I see.
yeah.
No, okay.
And
okay.
I'm
So-
actually fine reading, but the test was so awfully difficult that I couldn't read half of it. Because it
no.
gets more and more difficult as you go.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end, I couldn't understand anything.
we said
Yeah.
Chinese students, they can easily handle the reading part, obviously.
Yeah, but I think it's unfair because the listening part and the grammar part weren't so difficult. But
Yeah.
the reading part was.
But it must be, if it's done sensibly, that will be the
Yeah.
part that they're going to be teaching you when you go in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But I don't know. It's not natural Japanese. It's more difficult.
Welcome to Japan.
Yeah.
Of course, that's how they teach English. That's how they teach everything.
Yeah.
Of course. Are you off camera? We were talking to somebody
yeah, we
who's
can
off
turn it
camera
on.
here. You know, we're-
The ghost.
Oh,
There you are.
which camera is this? Oh, it's from the laptop.
Yeah, this one's here now.
Do we know who this is?
tokens.
This is Evelyn, who's been
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I've been here before.
Yeah, so you've been on the stream
Yeah,
before.
but there's lots of people who are always here for the first time.
Yeah.
Bye, Sam.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, good, good.
Going.
Get ready. Okay.
So.
Get out of
Get to
here.
work. Get to it. The more I look at this one actually is really, there are colors in it we don't usually see anymore. This brilliant yellow, we don't see
Huh.
this, you know.
And it's all
This
over
is
the
wonderful. Yeah,
place.
it's all over the place. This is arsenic, you know, arsenic.
Oh, good.
So it is indeed been protected very, very, very well.
Yeah. They've got all sorts of ideas for this board game. Where'd they go? A map or a board of Asakusa. It could be the design. Then tokens could be small Baden, brush, pigment cup, persuader.
Pigment cup on top of a woodblock print. No, kill that idea right away.
No pigment inside. The persuader. And then for Patreon supporters, said they get special rat token for all the rats hiding in our building.
Or how about shoes?
Shoes, yeah.
Inside jokes. Chibu-san, good morning. Chibu-san, just did you see? Come up.
Tiny fridge.
どのエピソード、歌舞伎かどうか、日本の歴史の中のエピソードですが、これちょっとわからない。広島
出生の鏡。
エピソードですね。ここからスタートですね。エピソードどんどん終わってこれは上がりですね。いろんなエピソード。だから本当の歴史の中のエピソードか歌舞伎ストーリーか。
ちょっとなんか広島で聞いたことある。
聞いたことある。
あるかもしれない。
If you see this from the back, it's done on such thin paper, it's almost as readable from the back as it is from the
Yeah,
front.
wow.
Should we zoom in a bit to look? Sure. I'll turn it on so it's, yeah.
So it's facing the kid.
Yeah. So you just go behind the camera and just pan
Yeah,
over here.
I'm going to first make
I think
this one,
okay, I get you.
this little
Oh,
one
okay, I get
smaller
you.
so that
Okay.
they can see more.
So I'll keep out of your way. I'll just leave it alone. Your shadows on it.
Yeah. All sorts of shadows now. They're on there. Get even closer. What's this guy doing? Yeah. Is that a blade or is he just a fan? It almost looks like, but no, I think it's some weapon. And there's all sorts of violent acts going on here. Battle after battle after
So it
battle.
is. It's battle after battle. I say. There's nothing peaceful at all about any of these things.
No.
Which makes me think it's probably not real history. It's just
Yeah.
a dramatic story, I think. I don't know.
Similar to the
Any ideas, Shiba-san?
books we have.
She's got it. She says thumbs up. Okay. What's the story?
豊臣秀吉だ。
本当のエピソードですか？歌舞伎だけ？
一番最初に日本を全国統一した人の物語、リアルな物語。
So she's talking about Toyotomi Hideyoshi. So this is just before Sekigahara. The years before Sekigahara.
関ヶ原では死んじゃったかな。ちょっと前に死んじゃった。
Just before Edo.
江戸より前ですね。
そう before
戦国ですね。関ヶ原よりちょっと前に死んじゃったので。最初のちっちゃい時の名前が日吉丸、子供の頃の名前が日吉。
I didn't know that. There you go.
もともとは農民の子だったんですよ、貧しい。でそれが上り詰めて一番最後は戦国の大名まで。天下統一トップナンバーワンになったんです。
最後の上がりの方に、お殿様みたいでしょ。musicians, dancing, ceremony. So this is where he became. So what we have is it's a life story of Hideyoshi.
秀吉。
じゃあ彼のライフストーリーですか？
そういうことですね。
若い時から
若い時からっていうことだと思います。スタート
いろんなエ
とか
ピソード、ファイティング。
もうちょっと大人になってから
building a
に。
castle.
そうですね、一夜城って言って一晩で城を作って敵をびっくりさせたんです。うわーって。
Okay, so what we have here, going according to what Shiba-san's giving me, her first guess of this is what we're seeing is a life story of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, one of the major generals in the era leading up to the Edo
す
time.
ごい。
Unified all the different fiefdoms around Japan.
And that was Ieyasu who did the final unification, but this is one of the guys leading in the era leading up to that. And what she says is Hiyoshimaru is the name he was known as a child.
Okay.
Yeah, if I can move it out here, sorry.
すごろくですかこれ。
So, Sugoroku desu.
Shusei no
鏡。
Kagami.
It means a view, an overview
Yeah,
of the whole
view.
life and stuff. And I should have known enough about Japanese history to know that, but I didn't. 結構綺麗に保存してます。
すごい、すごい綺
色も綺
麗。
麗し、折りも筋もそんなに悪くはない。
ねえ、虫食いもちょっとしかない。
ちょっとしかない。
わあ、すごい。
明治時代ですが、いつ作ったか全然書いてないんですよ。Very nice, very nice. But actually, something this substantial is probably known to researchers. So if you look up encyclopedia of knowledge about Sugoroku, it'll be known what this is and when it was made. So if we do a bit of digging, we should be able to find information on it.
So is Sugoroku basically a general term for board games in this era, or did they follow a similar set of rules?
Again, all I know about is what I've looked up on Wikipedia so far. It seems they fell into two general types. In the earliest years, coming from China, a similar type to what we know as backgammon now. There was a board, it was called Ban Sugoroku, board Sugoroku. And that fell into disuse in the Edo time after printing came into real big. And because printing was available, the flat board game type came into more general use. And the type now, like backgammon, became almost extinct.
Oh, wow.
So now the term Sugoroku really is just simply used for games played on a flat surface with a picture and different movement of tiles going around them. And there's no one unified set of rules. This one is a type like you and I grew up with. You're doing running along the course. Well, not a spiral, but we're running along the course.
Yeah.
And then there's the other type that we saw the other day. We'll talk about these in the
Jump ball, right?
choice video, jump ball. But you start somewhere and you go somewhere, and the idea is to be the first one off the board. That's a generic thing. Very nice, beautifully preserved, very interesting, and a theme that we'll be able to understand. And each episode is well titled. And with a little bit of research, we'll be able to show exactly what this is all about. And if nothing else, today's stream has popped up that idea of us as a set of prints one year, making a set of prints that are playable, Yeah, but we're going to encourage people to put their prints on the floor and tap things all over them.
Maybe they come with one inkjet copy to use as the board game, and then one would black print personal.
Or no, what we would better supply cameras. After each one is done, we scan it, put a high-res scan on the website, and people are encouraged to download it
And
to
print it yourself,
Of course, it's not like people can't do that themselves easier now. So. Yeah, very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. This cost me a little bit more than I had wanted to pay, but for the benefit of making that next David's Choice video. So I paid a couple $100 for this.
Oh, wow.
More than I usually spend on
On a single.
single item release, but I think it's Ichiman Nanase. It's about $200. And somebody else wanted it, but because I wanted it for that video, and my rationalization is it's a business expense, right? It's going to be used for making that video, which will bring hundreds of people into the shop, which will hopefully pay for it down the line.
Yes.
Whatever. Sugi-san still reading history here. Good.
それとも映画について読んでますか？
いっぱいあるよこんな人は、大阪城の主だった人、大阪のお城、でも今建ってるのはその後の人がもう一回建て替えちゃったけど、もともとのね。
Okay, it's time for me, I guess, to get to work. We're
It's
gonna have a
9:30.
busy day in the shop. The
missed all
last couple of
sorts of
days have
chat.
been nuts. Before I forget too, we're running out of some thumbprint prints, so can you update, please, so we can see what we've got and
I'll
what
do
we
that.
haven't got. And
Yes, because things are moving
it's
quickly
been a
now.
few days, right? And things are
Yeah.
moving very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So
I think I've got through Monday or Wednesday, but
I don't know.
still.
but I think you got it through Monday.
Okay.
So this Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sign us off, sir. What is it? Today's Friday. Is it today Friday?
Today's Friday.
Yes, I'll be back here tomorrow. You won't be here tomorrow.
I won't be.
I'll be here. Because it's a weekend, I'll do the thing again of putting the other camera outside on the street,
Fun.
unless it's totally pouring rain or
Yeah.
something. So tomorrow's street view should be an outside street view.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'll be back here working on the same. Maybe tomorrow will be a persuading day. Might be noisy. Can't help it. Might be noisy.
Looks like they may have found the game. There will be some interesting stuff. They were
For us to
chatting
read
and
here? Okay.
ideas and
What,
stuff.
found
Thank
this
you.
exact same game, you mean?
I don't know yet. It says here is the actual game, all capital letters. Osaka Prince something. So
Really?
I don't know.
Really?
We'll see.
Who's this? Who's this?
Treadmill
we have,
2.
We have more chocolate eggs. I'm running out of chocolate eggs
yeah.
to give away.
Yeah. Okay.
We should turn
See
that
you.
into a real thing too.
Actually mail chocolate eggs.
Or no, find an Amazon link or
Yeah.
something and send points or something.
That'd be pretty
We should make that into a thing. Okay. All right, signing off.
Okay.
Back at the same time,
Yeah.
same station tomorrow. Coffee.